Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is my November TBR. So I know I say it every time, can't believe we're literally about to be entering November. October went by like extremely fast, but also extremely slow. Like schoolwork and stuff made it feel like it was just dragging. But then at the same time, I was like, wait, what do you mean my exam is already here? Or like the deadline for that paper is already here. So mixed feelings about October. It was like a good month, but also kind of like, wow, I was busy. But I do have some exciting news about October, and that will be in my reading wrap up, which will be the next video that you guys will see. So this video is coming out like when you're watching it. That next week should be when the reading wrap up will be out. Unless you end up watching this like at a really later date, then it'll already be out. But yeah, if you watch this on a more like it comes out, you watch it, or like a day or two has passed. Next week I will have my reading wrap up, and that is where I will have some exciting news. But today's video is just simply TBR for November. Since I'm going to be home for some of November, but not all of November, I've decided to still pick mostly books that I have here at the apartment. I thought about picking some books that I have at home, but I was like, I can't guarantee that I'll like want to read when I'm at home visiting, or even though I'll even have like a whole lot of time for it, because I might be doing other things with like family and friends. So just sticking with what I have here, plus a few like extra like little things maybe on Kindle. But I have I have 6 books this month. I did pretty well in October, so I decided to up the number of books that I was going to read in a month to 6. We'll see if I can do it. I mean, if school decides to be nice and not be as busy as it was a few months ago, then we probably can do it or get close to doing it. And if my reading mood stays kind of where it's at right now, where it's more of like a goal driven, like I want to like read all the books that are here because I purposely brought them here to read. Not saying that they aren't books I actually want to read, but like, you guys know what I mean. Like when the book is in front of you and it's like read me or pick some other book, it's like my mind right now is like read the books that are in front of you. So yeah, that is what today's video is, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so the first book on my TBR is actually a second book in a series, and I do not actually own the physical copy of it. So it's called The Witch's Blade, and this is the second book of, what is that book series called? The first book is The High Mountain Court, which I do have, and I did read last month. Can't remember exactly what the series is called. It's like something of Okarith, but I can't remember the exact like title. But this is the second book. And like I said, I don't own the physical copy yet, but I do want to continue reading this series. I read the first book and I really enjoyed it, and so I'm really excited to jump into the second book and see how the story continues. It's kind of how Caraval was, if you've read that, where the first book was about like one person and like kind of like their point of view, and the second book was then like someone else's point of view. Like the timeline is continuing, like it doesn't necessarily go back. I mean, there might be periods where it goes back, but like it's not like, oh, we had this person's story and now we have the same person, I mean, a different person at the same exact time in their story. It's like the first book ends and the second book's just picking up with a new point of view. So I'm curious to see if I like it with this series, because I kind of didn't like that with Caraval, but that's also because I didn't like the character that became like our point of view. So we'll see, but I am excited to see if this book is as good as the first one, because sometimes fantasy series can take a while to get into, but also sometimes it's like if you have a really good first book, do the other ones live up to it? So I'm just curious to see how this goes. So I decided to make it a book on my TBR, even though technically I don't own it, but it is a series, and I'm always trying to complete series because I just have so many that I start and don't finish, or take forever to finish. So I'm kind of like, maybe if I just push myself into gear, I can get this one finished. So that's the first book on my November TBR. Okay, the second book is Daisy Hates: The Great Undoing. So I'm currently reading the third book of this series, which is Magnolia Park's Long Way Home. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Hold on. Yeah, Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. I am in the middle of reading that. I'm hoping to finish it before November starts. That's why I'm putting this one on here. But if I don't finish it, I might not get to this. We'll see. It'll depend on my reading mood and what other books I decide to pick up and not. But I'm still gonna put this on here because I do think that I will be able to finish it before November, or at least very, very early November. And I do really enjoy the series. Like, I've been having a great time, so I wouldn't be surprised if even if I finished it in November, if I still picked this one up. So it's kind of a toss-up of like, is it gonna be like a for sure read or like a maybe read? I'm not exactly sure, but I wanted to put it on anyways. But I also just wanted to say that in case you were like, wait, Daisy Hates was on your TBR and now Daisy Hates The Great Undoing, so where is Magnolia Park's Long Way Home? Don't worry, she's currently being read. She just was not technically on my TBR for October, but I decided to read her anyways, so that is why this one is on there. Third book is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. So if you guys followed me back in July, maybe? June or July or something like that, when this book came out, I have never read an Ali Hazelwood book before, and I've never really been interested in reading her books. It's hard to explain, but there are just certain authors that, like, listening to reviews from other people and like looking like on the back of the book and like reading it and things like that, sometimes I just can tell if like the vibe of the book just isn't going to be for me. It's nothing even necessarily about the plot being bad, it's just like they're writing, like I can just tell. And she's always been an author that I've been very hesitant to read, and honestly didn't think I was going to read any of her books, but then she came out with this book and I've seen some quotes from it and like I read the back, and I don't know, this one has gravitated towards me a lot more than any of her other books. And when I was at the store and I saw that it had character art, I was like, oh, well, guess I have to pick it up. So I've had this on my shelf for a few months, haven't picked it up yet, would love to pick it up because if I do like it, then maybe I'll actually be able to get into Ali Hazelwood's books because I know a lot of people do like them, or at least from now on. I know that she has another book coming out next year called Deep End, and I'm also interested in that book. So we'll see. If I like this one, I'll definitely read that one. If I don't like this one, I'll still probably try that one unless I absolutely hate the writing that Ali Hazelwood does. But like, I think there's been one book I've ever read where the author's writing was like bad. And that was a self-published book, so like they just might not have had an editor, so it might not have been totally their fault. But yeah. Fourth book is Tell Me Lies. So as you can see on the book, it's not a real sticker, which is really annoying because I would love to take this off. But I got it right before the first season came out. So they already had the books with the fake stickers on them. So I don't have like the original cover where the sticker's not on there, unfortunately. I really wish I did, but I don't. But I love this Hulu series. I remember watching the first season, literally like freaking out, like, wow, that was really intense but really good and really juicy, and like, wow. And then the second season came out and that was like even more drama, even more craziness. I don't know about y'all, but I've been seeing a bunch of TikToks about it. Like, people are starting to get into it and it's starting to get the hype I think it deserves. And so I know the book is not necessarily the series itself, like they've changed things and I don't know exactly what they've changed. I just know that a lot of people are like, oh, like I'm gonna read the book as like a way to kind of like see what's going to happen in the future, and it's like, well, it's not a guarantee because they have changed things in the series versus the book itself. So I'm more just curious how the difference is so far between the first and second season and the book itself. And I think I kind of like that because I feel like then there'll still be that level of suspense of like what is happening, because like I know what's happening for certain plot lines in the show, but that might be different than the plot lines happening in the book. So I think it actually adds a level of interest to me. But I also feel like this book could easily make me extremely angry. So we'll see how either much I get into it, if I get into it. I've been very hesitant to pick it up because I really want to read it, but I'm also very scared to read it. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what the difference is between the TV series and the book itself. Okay, so the next book that we have is a reread. I know, if you've literally watched like any video of mine, I've probably brought up Fourth Wing at some point. This is like my favorite book. If we have to go into genres, it's my favorite romantasy. If you're asking just romance book, I might not pick this one because like then I can pick another book to also be my favorite, but like literally Fourth Wing was like, it changed me. I don't know. I just absolutely loved this book. It was just so good. I don't know. Some people don't like it and that's totally fine, but I ate it up and I loved it with my entire soul. And so I was already planning on doing a yearly reread of this book, but Onyx Storm comes out in January, so I plan on reading Fourth Wing in November, and then I'll read Iron Flame in December, and then I'll read Onyx Storm when it comes out in January. So that is why it is on my November TBR specifically for this month. But I do plan on reading it. I don't know if I will read this copy of it because this is the paperback US edition with the dragons and stuff. Because I have one that I've been annotating every time I read it. Like, I do a new sort of annotating. Like, last time I did, like, I wrote in it and, like, penned and stuff. So this time I might highlight or I might, like, tab it. But this is the copy I have with me currently, so that's why I'm showing this one. But yeah, I'm just super excited to reread literally my favorite book. I always find something new that I didn't notice before, or, you know, just scenes that, not that you forget, but like, you remember like, oh, like this kind of happened, but then you read it again and you're like, wow, that was so good. Or like, you're like, whoa, damn. So just really excited to be able to reread this. So this is the 5th book on my TBR? Yeah, 5th book. Okay, and my 6th and final book is Breakaway. So this is the 2nd book in Grace Riley's Beyond the Play series, I think is what it's called. I read the 1st book in March. I read it earlier this year, I just remember. And it was a good book. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just kind of more of like an average romance for me. But I'm curious to see if I like any of the other books in the series better. And the last book is a volleyball romance, and I used to play volleyball and I just love volleyball, and I've been waiting for someone to do a volleyball romance forever. So I am super excited to get to that one. And I know that they're technically interconnected. I can read in whatever order, but I like to read in the author's recommended order, which would be as they were released. So I do want to read the whole series. So I've just decided to put it on as a book this month. It'll get me closer to the last one, and it's on Kindle, so if I'm ever just feeling like not reading a paperback, I can easily just pick it up on my Kindle. But yeah, that's the 6th book that I have on my TBR. Okay guys, that's my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If it seemed like I was talking really fast, it's probably because I was. I kind of have a time limit that I know now that if I film over a certain amount of time, my editing software like won't let me edit it. So it makes it very difficult because I have to kind of speak really fast and like not mess up. So if it did seem like I was kind of going really quickly, that's why. But yeah, that was today's video. Again, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are all having a great day. And I will see you guys for my next video, which is my October reading wrap up, which you definitely are going to want to check out. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.